Hey everyone, welcome back to another installment of this is a video that literally, wow, my hair is in my face. Oh my god, the struggle of things. It's literally never ending. As I was saying, welcome back to another installment of the series I like to call Nobody Asked for This Video, but I want to talk about it, so I'm gonna film it anyways. So if you're looking at the title of today's video, you're probably like, this has been a long time coming. And it really has. I've been meaning to make this video for a while now, but I just haven't had time. And time is gonna be a major part of what I am talking about today. So for those of you who have been following my channel for quite some time, you may remember that I started my YouTube channel and I was kind of all about being a huge weeaboo. I was really into cosplay, like that was my jam. I loved making cosplay vlogs and convention vlogs, and I was really passionate about it. And I feel like I kind of got to the peak of my potential and then just completely like dropped off the face of the earth in regards to the cosplay community. I really hate that phrase, and we're gonna get into that today as well. So yeah, I started cosplaying I think in 2010 was my first ever like cosplay and convention. I grew up in Seattle, so I started going to SakuraCon when I was a kid, and I thought it was so much fun. It was like Wonderland to me, and I would go with my childhood friend and we would try to match up costumes. As we got older, we weren't really into the same things anymore, and eventually I made new friends in the Seattle cosplay community area, whatever you want to call it, and I started cosplaying with them. Here are some of my favorite cosplays or cosplays you guys might remember or be familiar with. Part of me is sitting here like, I can't believe I did that. As I got older, I decided to go off to college, and I kind of moved across the country in order to be closer to some of my friends on the East Coast, and because I really liked the school that I was looking at over there. There were some really cool things that I did as a cosplayer. For example, one of my favorite memories is that at one point me and my friends all created like an AU of Attack on Titan where we were all Starbucks baristas, and one of my friends dressed up as Eren Yeager in a giant like Frappuccino cup. I'll insert a picture here if I can find it. And we were just roaming around the outside of the convention center. This was KomoriCon. I don't know if any of you may be familiar with it. I think it's changed a lot since I used to go. But anyway, we ran into the actual voice actor of Eren Yeager, Bryce Papenbrook, and he loved our costumes, and I actually got to take a selfie with him, so I'll insert that too if I can find it. And that was a really exciting moment for me because if any of you guys remember, Eren Yeager used to be one of my favorite little anime boys. He was so cute, and I actually named my Volkswagen Jetta after him because my Jetta makes lots of loud noises when I go up the hill, and it reminded me of Eren when he was a Titan, but that's besides the point. Yeah, so a lot of fun stuff happened while I was cosplaying, and eventually it was time for me to go off to college, and I made the decision to move across the country and go to school in Connecticut because I found a really cool school there with a color guard, which I had been doing since I started high school, so I wanted to keep doing it. And they had a film program, which is what I wanted to study, and a lot of my friends happened to be in that area at that time of my life. So once I moved over there, I started going to conventions in New England, and to be honest, sorry, my neighbor is being really loud above me. To be honest, I really liked the cosplay scene in New England at the time. I met a lot of new people there, and I have some friends that I still talk to this day. I'm kind of bad at reaching out to people that, Jesus Christ, is everyone okay? I'm kind of bad at reaching out to people, especially to people that I don't see in my day-to-day life. So to my friends who are still in contact with me to this day, just please remember that I love you, and even if I don't talk to you, just know that I love you so much. Oh my god. So while I was in college for 2 years and a semester, so pretty much like 2.5 years. And I was going to conventions like Anime Boston and ConnectCon. I'm sure those of you who have been following me for a while remember those times because those vlogs did pretty well on my channel, and it was so much fun. Like I said, I met a lot of friends, but there was also a lot of that happened in my life around this time too. A lot of the people that I met during this point in my life, I am no longer in contact with, just because to put it in a friendly way, we have different paths in life. I don't know. That's just kind of how life works. As you get older, you realize that the people you thought you loved and cared about don't really vibe with you anymore. Because, you know, as we grow, we change. And yeah, pretty much I had to learn the hard way that a lot of the people that I thought cared about me did not actually care about me. But it's okay. We're over it now. We're fine. We're thriving. It's fine. So I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why I kind of like dropped this thing that was such a big part of my life without explanation, and then I kind of like jumped on to this thing. Like I like so abruptly moved from being a weeaboo to being a K-pop stan, and I'm sure people who were following my channel were like, what the f? And I know that you guys were like, what the f? Because I saw my subscriber count go like this. It was really a time for all of us, I'm sure. And there are a couple reasons why my life shifted so fast. The first thing I can say is that I was severely depressed, and I'm sure you guys remember a time on my channel where I put out some videos about having health anxiety. That is still something that I occasionally struggle with, because as those of you who have struggled with mental health before, you know that it doesn't just ever go away. There are just points in your life where it's really bad, and then there are points in life where it's more manageable. Thankfully, over the past couple of years, I've tried different methods to help with my anxiety, and I feel a lot better on a day-to-day basis. The depression thing was kind of like, I felt like I was going nowhere in life. I had been a recent graduate and I wasn't finding a job. It took me an entire year after I received my degree to earn my first job, and I couldn't find work in New England, even though I thought I wanted to stay there, because that's where all my new friends were. And because I couldn't find work and I was barely making enough money to afford my bills, because I was only working at Starbucks, and you know, you can't really make that much money working there even if you work 40 hours a week. I was kind of feeling hopeless, and my mom was like, why don't you move back home with me? Because I'm an only child and she missed me, and I missed her, and I missed being in the Pacific Northwest a lot. So I decided to move home. And then thankfully I found a job that I am still working at to this day. I've been working this job for a year and a half now, and I finally feel like I'm growing in my career, I guess you could say. As I moved back home, I was kind of disconnected from all of my friends who were into cosplay at the time. And shortly after I moved home, I kind of reevaluated my life and realized that a lot of the people that I considered close to me at that time, like I said, I realized that they didn't really match my lifestyle anymore. I don't know if it was the whole act of moving back across the country and going back to the Pacific Northwest, where the vibe is really different than New England. Like, everyone here is so chill and everyone in New England is so like angry. I just kind of felt like it was time for me to change. And like I said, having a job really took up a lot of my time. So I ended up unintentionally cutting ties with a lot of people that I was friends with in the cosplay world. So without having these people in my life to like influence me with what I was passionate about, I kind of fell out of love with the hobby, and I started focusing on other things like my job. And I know I seem like I'm going in a million different directions, but I also got a puppy shortly after I moved home. You guys may know Penelope. She's my little Pembroke Welsh Corgi. I got her in October, and I think I moved back. I got her at the end of October, and I think I moved home at the start of October. So like really shortly after I moved home, I got a corgi. So that took up a lot of my time too. So basically having a job and having like a literal infant, because if you guys have ever raised a puppy, it's literally like having a child. I didn't really have time to do anything anymore. And then as time went on, I was meeting new people, and through the act of moving and having a puppy and having a job and not having a lot of free time and not being able to talk to people, I really learned who cared about me. But I would say, looking back now that I'm a lot older, I'm kind of glad that I didn't stick around in the cosplay community. I'm sorry, I like cringe every time I say that word. And I'm so sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone that's still a cosplayer. I still really admire cosplayers. But I'm still really active on Twitter. I experimented with Stan Twitter for a little bit, and I don't think that I'm gonna continue using Stan Twitter, and that's a topic for another video because I think it's really unhealthy. I think Stan culture can be really problematic. But anyway, on my main Twitter, I still, you know, follow some people that I was close with when I was really into cosplaying, and a lot of the stuff that I see happening makes me sad and like really happy that I don't cosplay anymore, because at least when I was young and I was cosplaying, it was all about having a good time and just being a meme pretty much. If that was one thing that I could describe, the overall vibe of being a cosplayer was just trying to be a meme and have fun and laugh and spend time with your friends. But nowadays I see a lot of drama on my timeline about cosplayers, and I've, at least based on what I see, I feel like too many people in the cosplay community now are worried about being famous and their subscriber count and their retweets and their engagement and like their YouTube channel or whatever, their Instagram. And of course this was something that I found when I was younger and actually cosplaying, but I never thought that it was this bad. To the point where recently I was on Twitter and I saw someone retweet this post that was like, always remember that you should cosplay for yourself. If you want to make something that your followers don't like, that's okay. And I'm just like, wasn't that the entire point to begin with? Like, I just remember me and my friends like planning all these cosplays because we thought they were fun. Towards the end, like once I got a little bit older and I was like making my own money and like not getting cosplays for like Christmas and my birthday and stuff, once I had my own money to spend, more of my friends were like, let's do photo shoots so we can have good photos for our like cosplay Facebook pages and our Instagrams. That's when I was kind of like, holy like, is this really what's happening? Because not only are we spending hundreds on our actual costumes, hundreds to go to the convention, to stay at the hotel, and now we want to spend hundreds of dollars to have a photo shoot so we can post images on our social media that will only get 100 likes anyway. Like, what's the point? I just feel like too many people are focused on how people see them on social media instead of doing something that actually makes them happy. And it took me a really, 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 really long time to be able to enjoy anime again after I fell out of cosplaying, just because I couldn't stop thinking about all the negativity that I had at the back of my mind based on the kind of end of my cosplay journey, when so many people were just concerned about the likes and the retweets and all of the friends that I thought liked me, and then stuff happened and then they weren't there for me when I really needed them to be. And it was really hard for me to try to like anime again, which sucks because it was such a big part of my life. Like, I still have like my Victor Ida bag from Yuri on Ice, and I refuse to let it go because like that was such a happy time of my life and that show brought me so much happiness, and I'm like, literally, why are you hanging on to this? You don't even like anime anymore. But I will say, I recently just finished watching all 5 parts. Okay. I started watching part 1 and then got bored, and then continued on with the rest of the 4 parts. And I know I'm gonna get flamed for that, but I'm going back and finishing the rest of part 1, so don't come for me. But I pretty much watched all of the 5 parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with my boyfriend because he started watching it without me, and he was like, part 1 is not the best, but part 2 is really good. Please watch the rest with me. So I was like, okay. And I actually really like it, which is concerning because I started watching it ironically because of the memes. but now I am so obsessed with it because I fixate on one thing at a time and obsess over it to an unhealthy level, and I love it so much. And I will prove to you I love it so much. Okay, I don't remember where I put it, but my boyfriend literally got me a Jotaro lanyard because I love Jotaro so much. And I'm gonna put a picture here because I definitely took a picture of it when he gave it to me. Because he also gave me a Kakyoin air freshener for my car that is still in my car. And we actually have a Jotaro print from Society 6 in our apartment living room. I am a JoBro and you can't tell me otherwise. So yeah, I'm starting to learn to like anime again because it's nostalgic to me. But I'm not sure if I would ever cosplay again just because it's a lot of money and I don't know if I have the confidence to do that anymore. I don't really know how I developed all that confidence when I was younger because I definitely don't have a lot of it now. I'm at a loss now because, like I said, we just finished JoJo and I don't know what to watch. So anime fans, let me know down below what we should watch next, and thanks for listening to me ramble, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll talk to you guys next time.